This week I'm going to attempt to squeeze in 17 or more emails in the whole 10 minutes that YouTube gives me, so strap on your seatbelts, be ready to put your finger on the pause button and rewind if you need to hear me talk, because we're going to go quick. And first one up is Marcia. Marcia has a daughter who's going to college next year and wants to know what to get her for Christmas in terms of a laptop, and that one is a no-brainer. Apple laptops all the way for college students. They're safer, they're cleaner, they're going to last longer than any PC laptop will. Unless she's going to be an engineer, then you have to buy a PC. Brian has a unique question here with his laptop where he's getting a lot of errors with Run DLL32. He just upgraded from Home Vista Premium to Ultimate, God knows why, but he is still getting the same errors, and he's wondering, he's been advised by HP support to turn off DEP, Data Execution Prevention, in Windows Vista, and what it's supposed to do is help keep some of the security running on your system and give you warnings if there are some programs they think are running that shouldn't be running. He's wondering, will he be any more vulnerable? You just won't get those particular errors anymore, and you won't get the notifications of the errors. If you don't mind that, you can go ahead and disable it per your HP support. Christina is having a problem with getting her Word 2007 macros to be saved in the normal template of Microsoft Word. So what I want you to do, Christina, is click on Macros from your toolbar, or actually the ribbon, in the View menu, in the View ribbon, and you're going to come up with the View Macros dialog box. And after you get to that View Macros dialog box, click Organizer down here on the right. When the Organizer appears, you're going to see which particular macros are in your current document and which ones are in the normal area or in your normal template, and then you can drag and drop between these and make sure that they are going to be saved in the document that you want it to be saved in your case, the normal template. Theola gave me kind of an incomplete question here. She's using a new laptop with Windows Vista. She had XP before, but I don't know what you're using dial-up, Theola, or using a high-speed internet connection connected to an Ethernet cable, the actual cable, or are you doing a wireless connection to a router somewhere in your home? I need more information in order to answer a question like this. Another laptop problem. Larry is having a problem with his computer restarting, his laptop restarting. He has to go about 20 different times before it restarts normally because it freezes during the startup. I think what you're going to want to do, Larry, is go to my website, helpmerick.com, type in msconfig, msconfig, and follow some of the tools and tips I have regarding msconfig, and you're going to find that you're going to be able to disable much of the startup, which is what I would do in your case. I would disable almost all of the startup items and then slowly add them back in to see which one is causing the problem. Phil here has an interesting problem. It also happens to be a laptop problem where he can only get to certain websites. And when his son came over during the holidays, his son had the same problem where they couldn't browse beyond Google. And the reason why, Phil, is you're troubleshooting with the wrong folks. You're trying to troubleshoot with Toshiba and Time Warner. It's not the problem on either one of those. It's in your router. And what you're going to have to do is there's probably some router setting that got changed in your particular wireless router. Go to your router's manufacturer's website, download the latest firmware, update the firmware on your router. Firmware is just a little software that goes in there, not a hard thing to do, and then reset the router back to its factory defaults. There's a way to do that in all router software as well. So do those two things, you'll be browsing all over the web in no time. Gloria, to get the answer to your question, stay on my website at helpmerick.com and search for Castellini approach, or you could just put security approach. Any one of those two combination of words will work, and you'll find exactly what I recommend for all folks that are using Windows-based computers to secure their computer. Pat is getting a warning about a system voltage battery is low, and the battery that it's referring to, Pat, is what's called the BIOS battery. It is, again, just a little flat watch battery. You have to shut your computer off, look on the motherboard, and you'll see it. You can pop it out, make sure you remember which side was positive, which side was negative, take it in and get a new one, put the new one in place of the old one, and you'll be up and running. Charles is building his own computer, and he wants to know where on the web to go to find information about matching the proper memory card and the motherboards and the video cards and all those kinds of things. And that's, you're doing the smart thing, because if you build your own computer, you can't willy-nilly put these things together. I would go to tomshardware.com. tomshardware.com is a great resource for exactly this type of question. Ron has a question that I don't quite understand. He has a DVD/CD that's paid for and on the up and up, but will only install on one computer. I'm assuming that it's a program that you bought on DVD or CD, and you're trying to install it on two different computers, and you've already got it on your XP machine, but it won't go on your Toshiba. You didn't mention what program it is. I don't know what the name of the program is, whether it's Vista compatible. There are many programs, however, out there that will only let you install on one computer. Very few will let you put it on more than one computer without buying an extra license or buying an extra CD. So Johnny is replacing his hard drive from his old computer and is wondering if his recovery disks for that computer will work with a new hard drive. Yes, they will. As long as you have those recovery CDs from HP, it doesn't matter what hard drive is in there. So when you upgrade to a new hard drive, I would definitely get one with a little more space, and you can use those recovery CDs and you'll be back up and running the way it was from the factory. You'll have to go through all the Windows updates and put your security on and so forth, but it will work. Helen attempted to use the auto text/autocorrect tip that I had in last week's newsletter and on the website, and it's still there, by the way, and she's having problems getting it up and running. She said she tried to do the copy and paste thing and tried to do exactly like I did on the video, but it didn't work. I think what you need to do, Helen, is re-watch the video and do it exactly the way I showed you. I've got a feeling you're trying to copy and paste the individual lines of your address onto the auto format function. Highlight what you want to add to the auto format, and that's all you need to do. You don't have to copy and paste. Just highlight your entire address, follow the rest of the tips. It will work. Tom is trying to map a network drive from an XP machine to a Vista machine so he can have access to data on the other computer, and he's able to do the mapping, but he's not able to get to the data. Tom, the only thing I can tell you to try is rework all of the wizards on both the XP machine and on the Vista machine to get the networking up and running. But I would start over by going through the wizard again, make sure you have the same work group on both sides, make sure you're sharing the proper files from both sides. But I too have had problems trying to network between Vista and XP. It's not an easy situation at all times. When it works fine. But when you do have trouble like you're having, the only thing you can do is continue to try to rework the methodology that you use to get things shared to begin with. Steve needs to install the Flash Player, the Adobe Flash Player, in his version of Firefox on two computers, but he's having a problem because he does have Firefox running. And Firefox does not allow Adobe Flash Player to automatically install. What you'll need to do is go to the adobe.com website, click Get Flash Player, download the Flash Player to your desktop, then make sure you shut down Firefox, find your installation file for the Adobe Flash Player, double click on it, takes just a few seconds, and then your Flash Player will be up and running. David is considering installing Ubuntu on his computer, and he's wondering if his Windows software will be unusable. Without a lot of expertise, you're not going to be able to get Windows software running in Ubuntu, so if you make the move, you make the move. You also can set up from the beginning to run Ubuntu side by side with Windows and then boot into either one. But Ubuntu does not run Windows software natively. You can do it, but you got to be a little bit of a geek to get things running, and even then it doesn't always work perfectly. The editing will tell the story if I made it, but we have one last question from Gene, another laptop question about a laptop that's heating up. And if you have your laptop on a firm surface and it's got enough circulation around it, you shouldn't have heat problems with the computer. Make sure it's not on anything soft, and make sure you do feel air circulating out of the back of it. And if you don't, you may need to get it in to get serviced because the fan may not be working properly on the laptop. And heat can be a major problem when it comes to laptops because everything's so tightly integrated in there and can cause you a lot of problems. So get it looked at right away. But the only thing you can check is to make sure that you have it on a firm surface. You might want to take a can of air and blow out some of the vents as well to make sure there's not a lot of dust that you can see in there. But the fan is the big key